Thanks, Jody. Good morning, everyone. A powerful windstorm battered Metro Vancouver overnight. Hydro crews worked right through the overnight hours restoring service, and at this hour, roughly 1,400 customers are still without electricity right across the Lower Mainland. A large tree came crashing into the corner of a fourplex in the 9200 block of 152nd Street in Surrey last night. There is extensive damage to the roof, and the top of the tree broke off and smashed into a fence. Several people were home at the time, but fortunately, no one was injured. This is the aftermath in Vancouver. West 10th Avenue remains closed between Courtney and Trimble as crews work on getting debris off the road to fix some power lines. According to one hydro worker, it could take several hours before service is fully restored, and this area is once again open to traffic. An early morning fire has caused some severe damage to an auto detail shop in Vancouver. Fire crews called to Platinum Touch Auto Spa on West 5th and Pine at around 1:30 this morning. It started out as a one-alarm fire but was quickly upgraded to a two-alarm blaze. Firefighters managed to contain the flames and prevent the fire from spreading. No one was injured. The cause of the blaze remains under investigation. Abbotsford police have a new mystery on their hands this morning. A couple walking yesterday in Matsqui Regional Park spotted something along the shore of the Fraser River. It appeared to be decomposed human remains tangled up in debris. The location proved to be a challenge for investigators to access.
As people might understand, trying to make an extraction from that close proximity to water in the river with all the debris in there, we have to be concerned not only for evidence but for officer safety as well.
There's no early indication on the person's gender or identity. BC's top First Nations leader has survived a terrible accident. Grand Chief Stuart Phillip is recovering at Penticton Regional Hospital this morning. Phillip suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries when his truck crashed on Highway 3 just outside of Hope. The vehicle left the highway crashing into a rock face before flipping onto its roof. Other drivers got out of their vehicles to help care for the chief before paramedics arrived. BC and Ontario RCMP are continuing their battle to form unions in the Supreme Court of Canada. This week, the highest court in the land will hear arguments from the BC Mounted Police Professional Association and its counterpart in Ontario. They are arguing that current RCMP regulations violate the charter rights of members by forbidding them to form a union and negotiate working conditions. Right now, RCMP officers are represented by a management-imposed and funded system. Well, it's a big day in Surrey, especially the people who work for the city. The big new City Hall is set to open in Whalley at 104th and King George Boulevard. It's the latest part of a major complex with the goal of revitalizing that area of the city. It also includes SFU Surrey, a new library, and a public square. The new City Hall has cost almost $100 million and is about 180,000 square feet in size. A skeleton staff will remain at the old City Hall location on 56th for the time being. Well, it is a wildly popular book that's being turned into a movie right here in Vancouver, and the writer is here as well. Have a look. Author E.L. James here, the 50 Shades of Grey writer, delighted readers in downtown Vancouver yesterday. Hundreds lined up for the chance to have their books signed by James. Shooting on the movie continues in our city with Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan starring in the lead roles. Production expected to wrap up in another month or so. Overseas, weather is a serious issue in Japan right now, where more than a dozen people are dead after a freak snowstorm. The storm hit Tokyo and some surrounding villages. The military was even called in to help after cars in rural areas were left stranded. Supplies have been cut off to some regions, leaving grocery store shelves empty. Some areas recorded record levels of snowfall. Most of the reported deaths were because of heavy snow collapsing on roofs of buildings. Weather is once again at the center of attention in Russia, but for a change, today's issue not heat-related. Thick fog has blanketed much of the region. It lingered for most of the day, causing officials to postpone two events. The men's snowboard cross competition and a biathlon race have been rescheduled for tomorrow. Both of them will be under a modified format.